good to see you. Okay, so this morning we're going to do the loving kindness meditation, the metta bhavana. Metta means loving kindness or something like that, and metta bhavana means creating or cultivating. So just want to say a few words as usual first. And the Buddha said that human beings were mad, said we're all mad. And I think he classed himself in that category before he was enlightened. And we're mad because we create our own suffering. You know, we really want to be happy, but then we go and create a lot of pain and messiness for ourselves. And why do we do that? So what he taught was that there's two arrows. He explained this with a story about two arrows. So we can imagine that somebody says something really unpleasant to us, or criticizes us, or gets angry with us, something like that. And that's the first arrow. We can't really do an awful lot about that most of the time. But then we wound ourselves with the second arrow by getting upset about it, by getting angry ourselves, or even just irritated, or just getting upset. And this upsetness, this angriness that we react with, it might affect the other person if we respond to what they've said. But generally what we do, even if we respond, we go away and we mutter in our own minds, don't we, about it? And we go on and on and on about it for quite a long time, feeling bad, getting annoyed, feeling irritated, feeling angry with this person. And this person's gone by now. So this person doesn't feel it at all. But we feel it. And this is the second arrow. We can't do anything about the first arrow. That could be toothache. It could be the weather not being what we expect it to be. It could be somebody being unpleasant to us. It could be losing our job or losing a relationship. At some point, there's nothing we can do about that. But the second arrow, we have complete control over. If we just notice that we are causing ourselves such a lot of pain and upset by mentally going on and on and on in our minds about what's just happened. So what do we do about this? Well, in Buddhism there's something called the gap, and if we remain aware and somebody is rude to us, if we've got a lot of mindfulness, we can notice that sensations start to appear in our body and the tendency to react arises. So we can then know that we have a choice. We can react, we can get angry, or we can stay calm. Now, it's not easy staying calm, but we do have a choice, and we can practice staying calm and not reacting, and not letting what this person said or did to us cause us lots of pain in the next few hours. And one way of dealing with this is by practicing this loving kindness meditation. We go around judging people and getting upset with people and being irritated by people and being irritated and upset by ourselves. So if we can cultivate a sense of loving kindness, then we can stop doing that, because what we do is, if something goes wrong, if somebody is unpleasant to us, we respond with loving kindness, because they're suffering too. The reason they're acting that way is because they are suffering. So I've said enough. We'll just get on with the practice now. Good morning, Laura. Good to see you. So off we go. just as usual, just noticing that you're here. Just coming out of any thoughts, really concentrating on it, what it feels like to be here right now, in this moment. Not how you were 5 minutes ago, but right now. And however you are right now, good or bad, pleasant or unpleasant, is okay. We can start by being kind to ourselves about whatever's going on. Just being with ourselves, with a sense of loving kindness. And noticing the breath in the upper body, coming and going, and the sensations of the body moving as the breath comes and goes. The chest rising and falling, the upper back rising and falling. Rising on the in-breath, falling on the out-breath. And just relaxing as much as we can in our minds, in our bodies. And as we breathe out each time, you might notice that there is a tendency to relax. The out-breath is relaxing, it's letting go. So just relaxing on each out-breath. It's almost as if you can let any tension drop away down through the body on each out-breath. Noticing if you're holding your face in any way, on the forehead, maybe there's a frown on the forehead, just letting that frown drop out. Letting the face relax. Balancing the head nicely on the shoulders. And if there's any pain or discomfort anywhere, just paying attention to it with a sense of care and kindness. Allowing it to relax, not trying to push it away. And turning our attention towards ourselves, our sense of who we are. Our sense of satisfaction or dissatisfaction with ourselves. Just noticing what that is right now. If we're happy with ourselves, we can rejoice in that. If we're a bit dissatisfied with ourselves, can we notice that we're creating our own suffering? It's not something we can stop straight away, it's a habit. But we can notice that we cause ourselves pain. And each time we do it, we can let go of it and instead have a sense of loving kindness towards ourselves as struggling human beings, just doing the best in the world. Perhaps cultivating friendship with ourselves, aiming to be our own best friend, supporting ourselves through difficult times, knowing that we're not perfect and that's okay. Accepting the things that we can't change. And noticing the things that we can with a sense of kindness and acceptance. So can we wish ourselves well? Whatever happens, however frustrating, embarrassing, whatever we do, we're always doing our best. So can we be our own best friend, supporting ourselves, whatever happens? In the second stage of this meditation, we're bringing to mind a good friend, someone that we care about a lot. And just noticing what happens when we bring to mind an image of them, or just a sense of them if we can't see an image, just a sense of their presence. Maybe thinking of some happy times together. Usually feelings of warmth and love appear when we think of our dear friends. Not always, but usually. So there might be something else. But we really know this person. We know their ups and downs. We know that they suffer in their lives. Sometimes they're very happy, sometimes sad, grief-stricken. disappointed, angry. They go through all the many moods and situations that we do. So we can probably feel a deep solidarity with them. We know that they suffer unavoidable pain sometimes, and they have a tendency to make it worse by not wanting it to be there, just as we do. They inflict the second arrow on themselves, just as we do. So can we see their suffering in the world and wish them well? Have a sense of deep warmth and goodwill towards them. And now in the third stage, we bring to mind a stranger. Not a complete stranger, someone we see from time to time. Perhaps a postie or a neighbour, a shop assistant, bus driver, someone who we meet at work or pass on the way to work. We don't know much about this person. Can we bring them to mind as an image or just a sense of them and just see what happens? Do we feel any connection? What does it feel like when you bring this stranger to mind? So you may have feelings of indifference or just nothing, a numbness about this stranger. You may have a connection, but generally with people we don't know, we don't really feel very much. They don't impact on our lives in the same way as friends and relations. But maybe we can begin to connect with this stranger's humanness. They're very much like us. They go through all sorts of moods in their lives. Sometimes they're happy, sometimes they're very upset and sad, angry, disappointed, just like us. They're constantly being blown around by life. And like us, they inflict pain on themselves. When things go wrong, they pierce themselves with the second arrow, not wanting it, complaining about it, getting upset about it, just as we all do. Can we see their suffering? And even though we don't know them, can we wish them well? Can we wish them freedom from that pain? Can we wish them happiness in their lives? We can let the stranger go now for the moment and bring to mind somebody that we have some difficulty with. Not a big falling out, but somebody who we feel uncomfortable with, somebody who irritates us, somebody who we'd rather not be around, maybe. Somebody who's upset us a little bit. Just noticing how that feels. It probably feels quite painful. We don't get on with this person. They make us feel uncomfortable. So that's the second arrow. That's pain that is not caused by them because they're not there. It's caused by our own aversion to them. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's what we do as human beings. We tend to go on about things we don't like. So without trying to like this person, without trying to make them okay, can we just wish them well in their lives? We maybe only see one part of them, but they go through all the things we go through emotionally. They get upset, they get desperate sometimes. Sometimes they're really unhappy, and sometimes they're joyful and fulfilled. They're just like ourselves, and they cause themselves pain as well. And they can't help it, just like us. So can we see that? Can we see their humanity and wish them well? Even though we don't really get on with them, can we still have a sense of goodwill to them? And in the final stage, we bring all four people together again. Ourselves, the good friend, the stranger, and the person we have difficulty with. All four of us, human beings, all four of us suffering the same joy and pain. All four of us being blown around by life as it changes all the time. Can we see that we have so much in common with each other? And can we wish all four of us, including ourselves and the difficult person, good wishes, goodwill, kindness, and have a sense of supportiveness to all four. And then can we spread that kindness, that loving kindness, to everybody who is meditating with us this morning, in this group, on YouTube and Facebook, or elsewhere, everybody in the world who is meditating at this moment. All of them, all of us doing something positive to change our mental states. And can we then radiate goodwill even further to all human beings in the world, all 7 billion of them, everyone different, but all suffering in one way or another, all feeling the effects of the second arrow. We'll never know all these people, but we have something in common with them, something very strongly in common. Can we spread our goodwill even further to all animals and birds, water creatures, all other sentient beings, all other beings that breathe and just want to be happy. Just like us. And extending our loving kindness even further than that to the whole natural world, the trees, the soil, the air, this whole environment that we live in, that's so important to us. Can we have a sense of loving kindness and care towards it, and all those who live in it? So opening our hearts to the whole of existence, to the whole of our experienced world. Just letting go of any effort now for the last few moments. Just relaxing and noticing your experience. After I ring the bell and you go about your daily life, maybe taking some of this loving kindness with you out into the world, helping to change the world by being kind. It's very, very infectious, this kindness.